Hey everyone, it's Larry here at LC Model Shipbuilding, and this episode we're going to be doing the 20mm guns. Both styles is the quad and then the single barrel. So we're going to put them together, and yeah, basically this is one gun video. I'm going to do another gun video for the what are they? The smaller ones, and then we will put them on. But essentially, yeah, we're moving right along here. Getting close to a point where I'll be able to probably start thinking about rigging and all of that. But anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. Let's get started. Okay, so like I said, we're going to start on the 20mm guns now in this episode. And these are mainly an anti-aircraft type gun. So there are 4 that look like this, and then there are 2 that get some additional pieces here, which I do believe mount onto these, and then there are 2 that get these over here. So I gotta kind of figure this out and kind of do some counts on this and figure it out how it actually goes. But first thing I'm going to do, just like pretty much every time, is get my parts ready. So yeah, how I'm reading this actually with the KA pieces here, these are 20mm and they look like that. So I'm going to say that these are those. So there's 2 of these, but it calls for 4 according to the directions here. And then there are 2 of these with the quad barrel and 2 of these with the quad barrel. So they all are slightly different, but I'm going to go ahead and start cutting out the pieces and kind of figure it out as I go here, realistically. So it shouldn't be too bad, but the directions are mildly conflicting, but that's kind of normal, it seems, with this build. So first up, like I said, I'm going to just start cutting out my pieces, getting them squared away and ready to go, and then we'll do the actual building. So I don't know how much of the cutout of pieces I'll show, but I'll at least kind of get it started, and then I'll pause it as I'm figuring out what in the world is going on. So it's K53, and then we got K41. K41. That is this guy here. And then we have K51. K51 is one of these. And then 52 goes next to it on the other side. And they're all going to need pieces of sprue trimmed down, so we'll do that here shortly. And then K34. There should be 2 K34s, which are little boxes. Oh, there they are. They are little. Okay, and that should be all of the pieces. Oh, 57, K57, which are the barrels right here. And well, they look fun. They all have to glue together, kinda. Obviously we'll replace the barrel with the brass, but the gun itself, I was hoping they were going to come kind of already in the quad formation, but they didn't. So let's actually take a look at the quads and see what they look like here. I want to check out colors and whatnot. Okay, so these barrels are going to be more of a black, and yeah, there's some light gray and dark gray going on with this, so it's going to be a little bit different. And it looks like we have our magazine holders down here on the sides, so that would have been those two little pieces that I just got cut on the last section there. Okie dokie. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of clean this up first and get all the pieces kind of off here. And like I said, it actually wants 4 of these to be built, so I'm thinking I may just do all 4 of them in one shot and just keep all my pieces together as I'm going here. That probably is going to be my best course of action. And what I like about kind of doing it in assembly line format is that I basically kind of get in a groove going with each style, and then I don't really mess it up too bad as much. So I'm guessing these here are my barrels. They look about the right size, so I got to kind of count them up and double check, but that should be them. So let me get my next K sprue, which is right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting these out, so I'll be back. Okay, so there is actually only 2 of that particular gun. So what it's saying here basically is there's going to be a total of 4. So we're making 2 in this style and 2 in this style. That is essentially how this goes, from what I'm seeing. Well, no. But yeah, it has to be, because there's only 2 K sheets, and on the K sheet, you only have 1 of each of those. So, yeah, that pretty much is how it has to be. And then we're making 2 of this style over here. Okay, so that makes sense. So we have 2 of this quad one, and essentially what we're going to do is put some glue down, and our bottom here, and then we have our platform that kind of gets attached onto here. So that, I want to make sure I'm going the right direction. So this is the back, and that is the back. So, oops, yeah, that way. So that goes through there, and then this goes onto here. Okay, so that should look like that essentially. So I'm going to do that with the other one quick. And then we will dive into the next part. I've actually been mildly worried about putting these guns together for some reason, but now that I'm kind of looking at them and actually doing them, they don't really seem that bad. Okay, now they have these pieces, which this goes on this side, on the we'll call it the right hand side. So we're just going to put some glue into that hole there, and we're going to drop him in, hopefully. Come on. They're a little awkward to hold, honestly. Okay, so that goes on there like that. And then the other one goes on the other side in the same way. So, get some glue on there. Okay, so that goes like that. Okay, and I can already see that that basically is what the barrels attach onto, so that makes sense. I'm going to paint these separately from the barrels. The barrels I'm going to do alone because they are darker. I'm probably going to use the German gray rather than black. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out. I'll pause it because it's the exact same thing. Then I'll determine if I have the correct barrels here, which I'm about 99% sure they are the right ones. And then we'll come back and put them together. So let me pause it and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I didn't do before we go moving forward here is the little ammo cans here. So they get glued right there. So just gonna put a little dab of glue on here and we're gonna drop them on. And I'm just kind of trying to actually lick them. I don't even think it's a box. I think that's supposed to be the magazines there, which would make more sense, so that's good. So what I was saying about licking, I'm licking the toothpick to try to get it to kind of stick to it. There we go. Okay, so that wasn't bad. Next up, these barrels. I want to check the size here, but I'm, like I said, pretty darn sure these are the correct barrel. They look to be about the size. They're a little bit big, maybe. Let me look here how many it says we should have. 20 millimeter. No, these are the 37 mil. So I gotta get in my box here and grab out the other ones. I'm glad I looked. So the 37s, I do believe I did in a prior video. I don't know why I said it like that, but these are not those. So let me check out my little box here of brass. Those are torpedoes. Okay, I don't see them on here. So let me look in my main kit box because I have some stuff in there yet too. Just double checking here. No. Okay. Well, hopefully I find them quick. So let me pause it here and I will be right back. Okay, here we go. So now I have them. So I'm gonna need 2, 4, 6, 8, 8 of these right now. So I'm gonna just kind of get them out. 2, 4, 6, 8. I think I got 2 too many. Boy, these are tiny. So let's do another count quick. 2, 4, 6, 8. Perfect. Okay, so these do look like they have a front. Yes, they do. So I don't know how well we can see it. The barrel kind of rounds on the end there. So this is going to be the end of the barrel. This is going to be the arrow, or the barrel facing the actual gun portion. So essentially, I'm just going to cut that off. And then I'm going to dip in some glue and goes on this side. So that then just basically attaches right on like that. There is a little notch in there that I'm going to actually use to kind of hold that a little bit better. Okay. So essentially, just like that. I'm going to just put a little dab of glue on there to give it a little bit more strength and durability. Now, when I paint these, I'm going to put them muzzle down. So I'm going to work on getting the other 7 cut and glued, and then I will be back. Okay, so all of the barrels are now attached on here, and what we're going to do next is our gunner seats. So those are piece 30, and that would be these right here. So both guns get 3 each. So 1, 2, 3. I guess there is only 6, so I guess I don't really need the counting commentary, but whatever. So they have a seat back, and these are the lighter gray, so I'm okay with doing these before we go ahead and glue, or I'm sorry, paint, before we paint. So essentially we need to bend it into shape here, and what it basically is looking like is seat back kind of bends up, then it kind of curls a little. And then the stool piece kind of bends into the center and then down. So basically like that. And then you break it. That's fantastic. Okay. So we're still gonna go ahead and bend that kind of how it's supposed to. And I'm gonna just glue it onto the bottom here. Like that. Let me hit it with some accelerators. Okay. So the back just kind of curves up, and there we go. We got our seat until it came off. Okay, so this then sticks into this little tiny hole that's here. So I'm gonna get some glue on that, and we're gonna drop it into the hole there. Just like that. Okay, so then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. These are going to be a really delicate piece. I have fears of them not surviving long. There actually is a direction on these two, I just found. So I broke that one too, but I'm not that worried about it because the center one actually sits on a piece of plastic with no stand type thing, so we're going to put that one there. So this goes down on here, like that. Okay, so I got to be a little bit more conscious on this next one when I'm bending it. So, yeah, that way. It has a little marking in it that I didn't pay attention to, and I'll try to show you on the next one so you can see which way to bend. And that's working much better. Third time is a charm. There we go. Okay, so this one also goes into that little hole there. Oh, that one fell out. I think what I'll do, once I get this one put back in, is just put a dab of CA around the hole there, so that doesn't happen again. So yeah, what we're gonna do is just a tiny dab, just to give it a little bit more support. There we go. So, like I said, there is markings for the bend, and I'm going to show that to you real quick so you can see it, hopefully. There is just two very fine lines right there, and that is the direction that you want to bend in. So basically bend and then bend just like that, and then you can bend up the seat back. Oh, that just flew. So I'm gonna have to look for that. Let me pause it and I'll be back. Okay, so I did validate that it is only 2 of the quad guns and then 2 dual guns. So what I'm gonna do with these barrels, I was originally gonna spray them, but I actually worry about it like flying apart, or not flying apart, but getting stuck to the tape, even if I use regular masking tape when I spray it. So I am just going to brush paint these. They're small enough that it should be perfectly fine, and the paint I'm using actually generally adheres pretty well to the model, so it should be fine. So I'm going to paint the bottoms of the gun, the main gun first, the body of it, and then I will paint the barrels separately once I get them glued onto the I don't know if you'd call it a turret, but the stand that this is attaching to. So that way the barrel will be able to just be painted right on its own once it's on the gun. So I think that's going to be the best way to go with this. I mean, I could try to airbrush these, but I think we'll be perfectly fine doing this. And I still can see the detail into the gun, so that's kind of the biggest concern that I would have had with it anyway. But yeah. So next, after I paint this, I'm going to do the next 2 guns, which are the dual barrel ones, and get them ready to go. I do have the quad barrel on my painting cardboard already ready to go. I'll show you them here in a second. I was able to find that seat that just flew off, and I don't know how, because the floor I have in here is really usually pretty bad about finding brass, but I managed to find it, so I'm happy. I guess if worse came to worse, I could have just used the kit supplied brass too, but yeah, since I found it, I was able to use it. Okay, so there's those, and then here is the finished product on the other pieces. So there we go, all the seats are installed and ready to paint. So next up, we're going to need pieces again of the kit, which are K55 and 56, and we're going to need 2 sets of these. So I'm just going to basically do the exact same thing that we did in the last segment here, and get them cut out. Okay, so 55 and 56, and then we need K33, that goes kind of in the center here. So that is this guy here. Oh, and I need those two magazine sets for the other gun, so I'm going to cut them real quick. I forgot to do that earlier. Okay, so K35, 36, I mean 56 and 55, and now K40. So that's K40 there. Sorry if I'm blocking. I'll trim these all back into shape here in a minute. And then K57, which is our gun. And that actually only gets one. I thought it was a dual gun, but it's not. Okay, and that should be all the pieces for that, aside from the brass. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing with this, get these cut out, and then I'll put them together. So let me go ahead and pause it, and I will be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and built these already. They're pretty small, but they aren't too bad to put together. So that's basically what they look like. Now, they each have a gunner seat also, which is piece number 9, and they are slightly different than the previous one. Not too much, but a little bit. They essentially still get bent the same way though, so I'm going to go ahead and get them cut out and bent up. So essentially all we have to do is bend down our support stand, and then it gets like a little foot that kind of bends out, so it's like that. Then you're going to just bend up your seat back, and then the backrest kind of bends down onto it. So essentially it'll look like that. And then we're just going to glue that onto our gun frame, our gun mount. And that goes right here. Wait, let me double check. Yeah, that goes right there. Okay. Sorry. I just didn't want to put it on the wrong side. Okay. So that is that. And then the gun lays in here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on here to get ready to paint it. And then I'm going to put together the other one quick and get them sprayed, and then we'll do final assembly. I did one gun here. I gotta do one more real quick. So I'll just do that on camera since I'm here with it. I kind of got these down to a little bit of a science now after the first couple. And I'm just going to spray it with some accelerator. And that will be ready. So I got to paint those up, put this one together and paint them, and then I'll be back. Okay, so now I got these painted up, and they turned out nice. I did paint a little bit of a brown down here, as it kind of looks like they were on the picture anyway. So next up, we're going to go ahead and start putting our guns in, and essentially they stick they stick into the side here, and this piece here points out. So basically they go in like this. And the barrel is right behind the little shield that's there. So what we're going to do is get a little bit more glue. And we're going to put a little bit of glue on the gun here. Right there. Do a little bit more just so I know I have it. And we're going to drop that right in to its new home, just like that. Now we're going to take our next one, do the exact same thing. I bumped it. Okay, that one's on. We're going to do the same thing over here. And then, like I said earlier, I'll paint the barrels once the glue is set. Stop it. Okay. All right, so once I get this one in, I'll do the other one off camera, and then we'll come back and do the final one, or the smaller ones here. Now, I don't like that because the angle is goofy compared to the other side. It might have been that I actually didn't completely put them straight on the, oh no, there we go. Okay, it kind of tilted. All right. Just gotta make that one there. Okay. So I got that, and then the other one here, I might as well just do them quick because these are going to be pretty well just a drop in type deal. These appear to drop in on the bottom, kind of. So, oops, wrong direction, I think. Yep. So they go in between that, like that. Okay. I just dropped one, got it. It's the scariest thing when one of these pieces goes flying. and you hear it, but you don't know exactly where it went at first. Okay, so I'm going to do the last 4 over here, paint up the barrels. I'll come back and then we'll install the guns onto the ship.